Alright, y'all gonna have to put some respect on that man Islam name, bro. He did his thing. He did his thing. He went out there and he defended his belt. He's the man. He's the man. And yo, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Ian Gary got some respect for me too. He went out there and he did his thing. I thought I was like, yo, Ian might go out there and get ragdolled. Nah, bro, put up a good fight, bro. Put up a good fight. Bro was bro was a round or two away from being a champion. I'm not gonna lie. Islam was just did what he had to do though. He did what he had to do. What really but you know what? Islam did what he had to do while also doing what we expected. That head kick, I did not expect that. I literally, obviously, right? He hit Volk with the head kick, but Volk, Volk's height versus Ian Gary, we're talking about completely different things. So I wasn't expecting that. But what I want to talk about is what Ian Gary did that impressed me. Even after that head kick, that got him, right? And he was turned away. And it's the really little things where you see, like, timing and reflexes. He was turned away, and based on where Islam was, he still ducked his head just in case a punch was coming, which made me know he was hurt, but he was still able to think. He felt that. That wobbled him, but that didn't put him away. It didn't put him away, and then every time Islam got on top of him, he was pressuring him. But Gary was not settling, and honestly, that was very impressive to me, that the way he was able to move in the early rounds. This is what we're talking about, the early rounds, especially whenever Islam would go in for a takedown and Ian would reach over him. It's funny because you see guys do that a lot. It's usually not that effective, but when you're as tall as Ian Gary, you're almost on their back, right? He's on your leg, but you're on his back. And then if you can bend that leg, right? If your leg gets stuck out there, you can't see my leg. If his leg gets stuck out there, then okay, that's you're in trouble. You're in knee bar territory, right? But his leg was he was getting his leg in, and then he was able to almost be on his back, almost able to wrestle Islam back. So I thought it was a pretty good fight. I was impressed with both guys, but like I said, Islam did what I expected him to do. A part of me was afraid that Gary would win. And when I say that, it almost sounds like I didn't want him to win, blah, 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 whatever. It's the reason I say that is because how many times when you're watching a fight, you're like, okay, I expect the champ to do as the champ does. This guy's not gonna go in there and do some crazy stuff. But then that's exactly what happens. We've seen it with Leon, seen it with who else? The last Connor fight. Like these crazy things happen when you're just like, what the heck? You know what I'm saying? So Islam could have went in there and got knocked out. He could have went in there and then Ian Gary could have been on a super striker, boom, boom, wild stuff, knocked him out. You know what I'm saying? Another thing that Ian did that I was a little surprised with. Usually Ian's like real bouncy, elusive, moving. When he was fighting Islam, he was almost like flat footed. But it makes sense. It's like, okay, I'm gonna try to catch him coming in. I'm gonna hold my ground. All that moving around, throwing unnecessary stuff, yeah, you gonna get caught. You gonna get caught. But let's you know what? We're not gonna glaze too much of Ian, even though we are. It sounds like a glaze. I'm not honestly, after I found out bro was vegan, I was like, come on, G, what are you doing? What do you do? Why are you vegan right now? I digress. Let's get into Islam, bro. Islam did the Khabib leg thing. I like when he did that. I like when he had the legs out behind him. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? When they sitting down like this, when they sitting like this, and then they on top like this. You can't even lie and say that my like finger wrestling wasn't just on point right now. But yo, Islam hit that, made me very happy. Seeing Khabib in the corner made me very happy. Khabib's that guy. My mother-in-law isn't even a big UFC fan, and she was like, "Is that the guy who's friends with the other guy?" And I'm like, vague. And she said, "The guy who fought Conor McGregor." And then my wife's chiming in. She's like, "Yeah, he threw a dolly at the," and I'm like, "Wow, these guys had one of the biggest fights in UFC history, and now Khabib's coaching these guys, and these guys are doing amazing things, doing amazing things. I love watching Islam fight. He's a funny dude. I like during the press conference too when Ian was like being super respectful and Islam's like, shut up, because he just wasn't aware of what's going on. And I'm curious, what do you guys think about Ian's whole nice guy shtick, right? Personally, I don't mind it. I kinda dig it, like, be who you are. He's a young man, I don't know, man. I like it. I say that with a grain of salt, like, the whole I'm not a big pita guy, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to go downstairs and probably eat a little bit of chicken right now, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that I'm against treating animals well. I'm not saying that at all, but I'm not gonna be a vegan, And I'm not it sounds like I'm hating on him because he's vegan. I'm not hating on him because he's vegan at all. I guess I'm just explaining that the veganism feels like it plays into the nice guy thing, which I'm like, because it's like, oh, of course he's vegan. He's such a nice guy. He doesn't want to hurt anyone, not even the animals. But some of them taste delicious. Some of them taste delicious. Have you ever had bacon? Okay, neither one of those fighters like bacon. That's actually something that they have in common. No, is that? Yeah, they got that's I feel like that's like common ground. They could both be like, yo, no bacon before the all right, let me stop. I'm bugging. I'm bugging. Hey, Sumatra Clear, I love you. Peace.